Silicon Valley Bank crashing has been all over the news this week, and frankly, their communications were managed about as well as their finances were. So I thought this week I would just take a bit of time to run through a few pointers on crisis communications from a digital point of view. So, first of all, first thing to do in a crisis, figure out, is this a crisis? People can often go crazy over relatively small storm in a teacup things. So getting a bit of perspective on the situation is always a good first thing to do. Now, clearly, in the case of Silicon Valley Bank, yes, very much was a crisis, but they aren't always. People can freak out about very little things. So figure out if it's a crisis, first of all. Second thing to do, if it is a crisis, get your facts straight. So you need to find out what the facts are behind the situation before you start making your communications. You'd be amazed at how often people want to start drafting reactive statements without actually knowing what's going on. This is a bad idea. You need to know what's going on. You need to get requests in. You need to get meetings in. You need to find out the facts. Number 3, get organized. So who are your spokespeople? Who is signing things off? What is the flow of sign-offs? Who has these pieces of information that you're going to need, that you need to bring into the circle? You need to get organized within your organization and with your agency partners as well. Next, setting up monitoring. So it's really important that you have a running feed of what's going on. And so if you've got a social media team, great. If not, agency partners, hello, can help you with that. Setting up monitoring is relatively straightforward, and it can be very useful, because what you'll often find in a big crisis situation is that quite famous people might start tweeting about it. You want to know about this. They might have new information, for example, coming up as well. So get your monitoring set up pretty quickly. 5, be proactive. So you want to get on the front foot with it. The worst thing you can do is bury your head in the sand. Now, obviously, as I mentioned up top, you need to get your facts straight, and that's going to take time. So you can't start drafting statements about what's happened straight away, but you can do holding statements. You can say, we recognize that a lot of people are talking about this, we're investigating, and then you can give people an estimate on when you expect to provide a full update. This is fine. It allows the world to know that you're on it. And that's important, because if you leave space, the world will fill it with speculation. And that is not what you want. Next up, think about your tone. So when it comes time to pull together all of your facts into some kind of statement, or spokesperson going out, think about your tone. So it depends on the nature of the crisis. Now, some brands can get away with being a little bit more playful if it's not a particularly serious thing. I'm thinking, KFC chicken shortage or whatever. But generally, you want to be serious, and you want to show empathy with the people affected by your crisis, depending on what it is. So you need to be careful with your tone. That's often the thing where people can fall down and really annoy the world. So think carefully about your tone, and be as transparent as possible. If there's no reason not to be transparent, then be honest, be open. Obviously, there are going to be situations where there's lawyers involved, and where there's things that you physically can't say, but it's always my advice to be open and honest. People appreciate that, and the crisis has already happened. It's much more likely that you're going to make it worse by lying or omitting something than it is by being open and honest about something that you've done wrong. So obviously, every crisis is different. There are lots of conversations that need to happen. As I said up top, you're getting organized, you're getting meetings in, you're talking about who your various sign-offs are. And typically, it's got to be, the CEO who makes the call on what you're going to share. But if you can be transparent, do. Be honest with people. They'll appreciate it. Right, next, think about your channels and formats. So we live in a digital world. Digital media is your friend. Don't think that you just need to, put a statement out and send it to the Telegraph and then you're done. Use your digital platforms. If you can, use video. Get your key spokespeople on video. Get them talking to the world, looking straight down the camera, just like I am now, and actually explaining the situation. People appreciate that. We live in a video first world. If you can get somebody on video talking, do so. Otherwise, use things like tweet threads, use things like, graphics, put your responses in something that's actually, looks like it was created in 2023, not 1923, not just a press release, and then that's it. Be engaged. If you can get your social team putting out responses, then do so. Engage with the world in the way that the world is engaging with you. And then finally, regular updates. So remember, you can flip perception of your agents, of your company, if you handle a crisis right. So send out regular updates, let people know what's going on, be on the front foot, and be, as I said, as open and transparent as you can all the way through. People will appreciate you for it, and you'd be surprised at how forgiving the world can be if you're genuinely doing your best to rectify the situation and being honest about what you're doing as you go. So that's it from me. Those are just my thoughts. This is not a official kind of crisis comms handbook or anything, but I just thought it might be helpful in the given current news events. I know lots of people are thinking about their crisis comms, so please do get in touch if it's something that you're thinking about any more deeply. Otherwise, I will speak to you next week. Bye bye.